So this woman writes, this post not replying to text escalated to a fight. And so I'm assuming that she didn't respond to the guy's text and now he's all upset. So common to see. And it's like, I was reading a book today. I was kind of excited for the book because it was going to be about like comebacks and being like playful comebacks. But it was like, I read like 10 pages into it and the guy is like joking about how like texting a girl 10 times and then being upset about it. And I was like, this guy, his whole motivation is to basically, well, his whole motivation just seemed from those 10 pages, even it was just like he already communicated that his driving force was to basically avoid people not liking him, kind of deal. And it's like, if you have that approach, it's going to make people uncomfortable around you, and it's going to give off that beta male vibe, and it's just going to be weird. So I had to stop reading the book. I was like, man, I was super excited about it, but I just couldn't deal with him making jokes about things like this, like texting women 10 times in a row and stuff. It's like, dude. But you see it so commonly. So let's see this post. So there was a small outdoor gathering with music, and so she's 23, went with my family and my boyfriend's 28. I went with his family and we met up, hung out, and then went back to our respected groups. The music, okay, interesting dynamic. That you're totally separated. It's like, well, he went to his family group, you went to your family group, and it's just kind of awkward a little bit. Kind of communicates more of like an immature or very structured family, maybe something like some kind of like religious context, seemingly, where it's like, well, everything really needs to be put in place, and it's like, oh, we have this role and we have this role, and you have to. It's like a rule kind of deal. I'm not saying that's wrong or whatever, but it's just like that's often a dynamic you see with kind of like that structured sense. The music was really nice, so I took out my phone to record it, and I saw his text, but I forgot to reply because I was talking to people nearby, and then replied after he texted again. It's like, oh, great, dude. It's like, how insecure do you have to be? It's like, well, you're not even like with your girl at a concert. And so you don't have the confidence to really be with her family or her to be with your family or whatever dynamic that is. It just kind of seems a little off. And now you're that insecure that you are getting upset over text messages. And if you are a guy and getting upset over her not texting you back for like 10 minutes or 15 minutes or a day even, it's like, dude, you got to go get a life. You got to go get a mission and focus on that mission, and don't get caught up and just totally focused on her not texting you back. Because like, well, sometimes she even uses this to test, like, this is a genuine thing. So it's like, whatever. But sometimes women actually do test to see if you will get angry or upset, because if you do, then they'll just dump you because it's like they don't feel safe around you. That's how they weed out guys. They basically test through things like this, like not texting back. He got mad because he saw my story on Insta and was like, oh, why didn't you text me back? And I told him I got distracted by other stuff, but he kept on insisting that I was lying. It's like, dude, grow up, man. I told him multiple times that I literally agreed that I saw his text, but simply forgot. And even though I didn't think I needed to apologize, I did it anyway. Yeah, so he's trying to control her because he's fearful that, you have to be this certain way in order for me to feel accepted. Or it comes from a place of he doesn't feel like he's good enough for her even, or that he has to be a certain way, that he has this picture of relationships in his mind that's just way too serious. And it's like almost like this impossible, has to be like this perfection deal. It's like, that mindset is just going to cause you to control her, and it's this controlling behavior often leads to abuse, whether it's physical or just mental or verbal abuse. It's still abuse, and just horrible, insecure, fearful way to approach a relationship, and you can't ever do this. Even then, he kept on yelling at me. Yeah, when you're yelling, you're losing your temper. That shows how strong you are. It's like, You can judge a man by, how much it takes for him to lose his temper or something like that. There's a quote that reflects that. But it's true. It's like if you can lose your emotional center that quickly, it's like, it's weak. Yelling at me, and I was literally just silently crying and didn't say anything because I thought he'd calm down. Is this at a public event and she's crying? It's like, dude, he didn't. I calmly told him, look, I don't know what's up, and I don't know why you do this over something so small. And then he got even more mad because I blamed him and made things worse. This guy sucks, dude. Walk away from this guy. I'm out of ideas. I show patience and stay calm, and I get it's all your fault. Yeah, he's getting, yeah. When I get mad and say something, then again, it's all my fault. I don't understand how else I can explain something to someone. I feel like I'm trying my best, but still failing every time. Get the fuck away from this guy, dude. This guy sucks. He's just fearful. He doesn't understand relationships, and he's weak. You don't want to be in a relationship with this kind of person, especially long term. It's just going to cause way unnecessary drama. It's going to cause you stress. It's going to be a relationship that's coming from a place of fear. So when that happens, when some person is that fearful, it just projects that fear onto somebody else. And then it's like that association is just the whole relationship. It's just like about, I don't want to mess up. And so it just like totally restricts everything, all your freedom if you are in a situation like this. So you can't be in a situation like this, and you have to have the self-respect to walk away, and self-respect to acknowledge that, yeah, I take responsibility for the things, and I take ownership of really everything that happens to me, and I can learn from everything that happens to me. But I also can recognize when this is not right, and this is not, and I deserve better. And this is one of those times. And so it's like, well, recognize that, walk away, don't look back, move on to somebody else, find somebody else. And they'll probably, when you do that, they're probably going to keep pursuing you. And it's like, well, you just have to stay strong and not give in back. Especially if, things don't go right immediately. So if you walk away and you don't find somebody immediately, sometimes we have that urge to go back to relationships that really didn't serve us. But we just have to recognize that it's a very difficult thing to do. But it is a very essential thing to do for really a healthy relationship and a healthy life.